The following presentation is solely for entertainment purposes and not to be taken seriously. While content and characters may be based in truth, this presentation is not meant to offend or harm in any way. It's the Olly Brown Show, America's favorite Thrillbilly. And now, here he is, Olly Billy-Bob Brown.
Hoo-ha! Howdy, y'all. Yeehaw! Shake your tail feathers. Yup, yupper doodle. Let's do it to it. Hoo-ha! Churning the butter. Hope my barn door's not open. Bringing it home. Ta-da! I can't believe this is my reality show. Previously on the Olly Brown Show. Everything I've been watching on this fuzzy black box lately is what they call reality TV. And I tell you what, as sure as hell is on fire, there ain't one lick of it that's real. Not one lick of it is real. I got me a bright idea to start my own TV show so I can give you all the what for about what reality really is. I wonder if this thing's on here. Hope so. Okay. Okay. Is this thing on? Okay, yeah, good, okay. All right, howdy y'all, Olly Brown here, and welcome to round 2 of my new ME-ality TV show. Some of y'all may not have seen me on the TV last week, but that's okay. We'll get to know each other and visit a bit right here and right now. Today, I'm on this here Aquanet to talk to you about some things I've been noticing of late. I've been seeing a lot of stuff going on in the news about folks jumping in there and entering this thing called a presidential race. Now, isn't that something? At first, there was a whole kit and caboodle and passel of them. It's even all over these here papers. Stories about all kinds of folks entering this here race. I guess this is something that happens every once in a while where bunches of people decide to enter the race and run for that there president. And they're a hooting and a hollering, and I don't know why they're doing it. I guess they have a lot of spirit and are itching to be a part of something. Now, I'm not much on understanding anything about it, not at all, but it appeared to me that there must be some good in running for the president, and I am seeing this as quite interesting. Yes, sir, it's true. And let me tell you something else. For me to believe like that is a big thing, it is. That got me to thinking, which I don't do a whole lot of, because thinking's a nasty habit. At least that's what my pa used to say. Now, before I go any further, for those of y'all who don't know me, I come from deep in the boondocks down in a holler. I live up a creek without a paddle, over hill and over dale, at the corner of 2 pathways called Okie and Dokie. Okie dokie. And there ain't nothing going on down there. And I don't know nothing about the workings of politics, nor how things come together for the president. But I figure I hadn't done much in my life except hanging out here in the holler with a bunch of good old boys, shooting the bull, flapping our lips about nothing in particular, and we're sipping on all that clear. Moonshine. So why not look into participating in this here race? And that's what I want to talk to y'all about today, because I've been thinking about this for quite some time. Yes, I have. Now look at here. I've been reading these old newspapers, and look how many people started out in this here race. All kinds of folks. It must be a pretty popular race. There's a people out there calling themselves Republicans and Democrats, and I think that has something to do with elephants and mules, according to some of the pictures I've been seeing of dumbos and asses. And I think that's interesting. I've been called a dumbo and an ass a time or two myself. And you gotta let those names just roll off your back like warm butter. My mama used to tell me that if anyone was trying to bother me, to just look them in the eye and yell, like butter. She also told me the bigger they are, the harder they fall. And for a little fella like me, that's a good thing to know. It made me fearless. Any which way, I see here that there are a couple people who call themselves independents, and even some who like to have tea parties. Now, let me tell you something. I love me some sweet tea, so I might enjoy running with some of them folk. And if I did my figuring correctly, there are about upwards of 30 some odd folks on one side or the other, and they're all entering to be a part of this here race, although not all started at the same time. I'm a-thinking there might even be more people than that, which sure is a lot of folks getting together to run for the president. In fact, I read in one paper there might be up to 65 folks that were out there running for the president, and I think that's fascinating, I sure do. I remember one feller was from Massachusetts. He said he was a libertarian, a librarian named Berman Supreme. Well, he ain't running no more. I guess he went back to that library he came from. I don't know nothing about no libertarians, but I do know a thing or two about libations. Yes, sir, I do. Yeehaw! Yes, sir. White lightning. Ooh, that's enough to make your toes curl and the lip of your hat curl, too. Yes, sir, bub. Anyway, let's get back to these stories about this presidential race. I've been reading these here newspapers and magazines and whatnots, and there are some interesting headlines in them. Listen to this one. It says here that front runners get breathing room. Well, I guess that makes sense now, don't it? Especially if you're out there running this here race and you're way on out there ahead of the rest of them, you just might need a whole lot more air. I just hope that air ain't tainted with anything like them there pollutants or that Mary Do You Wanna stuff. Now that wouldn't be good, now would it? Let's see what else is in the paper here. Oh, Clinton chugs on with easy victory. Wow, I didn't know she was a heavy drinker. Well, if she's that big a chug-a-lugger, then I'd like to have her come up and sit on my front porch and sip some shine with me. Now that could be fun. Hillary at a hoedown. Okay, here's one. It says Trump takes Nevada. Now, why would he do that? It wasn't his for the taking. And my mama always said, you don't take things that don't belong to you. So why would he do that? Is he going to bring it back? Somebody might want it. Well, that's not very nice of him, was it? Here's one. Raucous Caucus. Raucous Caucus? Raucous Caucus? Raucous Caucus? What kind of a headline is Raucous Caucus? That either has a whole lot of something to do with cows, or there's a whole lot of rowdy going on in this here race. Boy, let me tell you what. Yep. You know what I've been thinking? Some of these runners seem high-spirited, but have a funny way of showing it. Like they're acting all high and mighty and itching at something. Let me tell you this. If I had an itch, my granny would tell me to stop scratching or picking at it and give me a jar of witch hazel salve and make me lather up with it to tame that itch, especially when them roids flare up. I think some of these folks running for the president probably could use more than a jar of salve, and that's for sure. Well, here's some other interesting headlines. Clinton makes push in California. Sanders backers send messages. Trump borrows from Sanders' playbook. Trump-Clinton wins, put November in sight. Ooh, Clinton broke rules with emails. So is it Trump or Clinton? Well, let's see what else is in these papers today. Trump says, I'm not going to blow it. Well, that's quite the crude, rude statement. Was he making a comment about how he feels about them there same-sex folks? I don't think that was necessary, do you? Oh, and here's one. Backing a buddy. Well, that sounds kind of personal to me. Oh, how about this one? GOP mustn't ignore what Trump has exposed. Well, I guess he shouldn't have exposed himself then. You should never expose yourself in public, folks. And speaking of exposing yourself, how about this headline? Candidates look towards South. Well, that's a good thing to do to make sure you don't expose yourself. You want to make sure your barn door is closed. And as my mama used to say, if it wasn't closed, XYZ PDQ. Do you know what that means? Examine your zipper pretty darn quick. Here's a humdinger. This is a great headline. This article starts off with, does Clinton feel the burn? Well, if she does, maybe we ought to get her some of that salve to tame that burn. Oh, yeah. Jumping Jehoshaphat's. It seems like to me there's a whole lot of risque in these here stories. You know, like sexual innuendos. Now, ain't that just a bundle of hogwash? My mama would say they were cruising for a bruising 'cause they acting so awful and they're too big for their britches. Even I behaved like some of them folks. Mom and Pa would take these newspapers and roll them up and swat me on the behind, on the head, and on the arm and chase me up and down the holler and give me a lesson or two. Keep your privates to yourself, and if you ain't got nothing good to say, then don't say nothing at all. Yup, that's what he'd say, all right. I do believe we just might have a bunch of preverts out there a running in this here race. I'm just saying. Reading these here funny papers, I already see there are a bunch of funny things going on out there with folks that are already out there a running in this here race. Listen to this. Sanders positioning himself for a new role. Well, I hope he likes rolls, and he can put some butter on that and a whole lot of jam, but for me, I'm sticking to the biscuits. Oh, and how about this one? It's a picture of a feller who's a running, and they got him all wrapped up in a straitjacket made of the US of an A flag. I guess they want to keep him all tied up for things he's been a-telling folks. For example, he called some lady menopausal, and he was quoted to say this about some lady's face. "Look at that face! Would anyone vote for that?" Then later on he said that lady would not do the trick, and I sure hope not. Only way for her to do a trick is if she was going to go out and be a lady of the night, if I'm not mistaken. And on top of that, this fella called a lady news reporter a bimbo. Well, when it comes to ladies, I guess he's not skirting the issue. A bimbo? Really? Can you believe it? Sheesh. Was it really necessary for this feller to make those comments or say that about that lady reporter? Folks don't take kindly to getting their feelings hurt. And where I come from, you get us all riled up, every hillbilly in the holler will come at you and give you to what for. Besides, him talking about her face like that, it don't make no sense. It's like he was a pot calling the kettle black, if an I ever heard it. Look in the mirror, mister. Boy, let me tell you what. Someone ought to wash his mouth out with soap like my mama used to do to me. If anything, that lye soap will take the lies right on out of you. You'll think twice before spewing forth hatefulness. Besides, not everyone feels the same about situations, topics, and other thises and that's. Now here's a magazine article title that says, "A woman running for president." Well, why not? Didn't know anyone couldn't enter the race. If you have an inkling to do it, then I think anybody might make it to that there finish line called the White House. Here's another article that talks about anything but Trump or Clinton. I don't know them folks, but they must be heavy-duty runners dead set on being the winner of this here race. They're a-spitting fire at one another. They better be careful, though, or it'll be like the Hatfields and McCoys before you know it. Because from what I've already caught wind of, they've been a-fighting in this here race. Well, I ain't making this stuff up, folks. It's all right here in print. Yes, sir, it is. You know, I was a-thinking that all these stories were nothing more than a bunch of old gossip coming out of the hen house. And I was even contemplating the idea of lining the rabbit cage with some of these papers. So I was thinking, maybe I can enter this here race too. What do y'all think of that? Now, I know these old papers here are kind of old, and some of them folks couldn't cut the mustard, and they had to stop and drop out of the race. Some folk might think it's a little late for me to get started in doing this, I know. I could be dragging my ass, being a day late and a dollar short, so to speak, and they may be right. But I figure it's better late than never. So here's the deal. I've been pondering this idea of entering this here race just like everybody else did. And I was wondering what y'all might think about that. I'm not sure what good it'll do or what I'm supposed to accomplish or even if I can even help by contributing something. But boy, let me tell you what. In my lifetime, I ain't ever done much to help anyone or anything. And this just may be the time for me to be all I can be, as they say. And this race sounds important. I could be making some kind of history here. How about that? And I figure since so many other folks are doing it too, I wouldn't be alone in it, now would I? Even if I am running behind. I think it'd work out quite nicely. All of us out there are running for the president. I could learn a lot. I could see a lot of the country and meet up with all kinds of people. I may have to get some training now under this here Buddha belly of mine, but that ain't nothing. I could use a little workout. And the only thing is, though, I don't think I want people to say I'm a Dumbo or an ass anymore just because I'm a CRRN. But I am willing to come together with just about anyone who wants to run in this race too. So what do you think? It might be fun. I mean, why wouldn't it be with all the parties out there getting into this race of running around for the president? So there you have it. That's where I'm at, and I'm thinking of all this news about people running for the president and how I can help, and I really think I can do it. And I really would like all your support in this idea of me running for the president. It's a big decision for me to make on my lonesome, and it's heavy on my thoughts. So I thought I'd like to ask all of y'all to tell me what you think and leave a comment below, and I'll consider entering this race and then making an official announcement right here one way or another the next time I get together with y'all. I look forward to hearing from you, and I appreciate you letting me come in and visiting with you today. And I guess that's all I got, folks. There you are, and there you go. Thanks for letting me come and visit with you and for listening, and I'll see you later, Gators. Until next time, y'all have a good one. Next time on the Olly Brown Show. Let's go shopping, 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 shopping. Let's go shopping, 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 shopping. Let's do it to it. Yeah!